Did this really just happen? First date at a fancy restaurant and she pulled out a Nintendo Switch?
Okay, so this happened a few years back. I worked at this mid-sized company doing project management stuff. It wasn't glamorous, but the pay was decent, and my colleagues were mostly okay. Except for one guy. My boss, let's call him Steve. Steve wasn't just a bad boss. He was a black hole of incompetence dressed in a cheap suit. He knew next to nothing about the actual work we did. His main skills were micromanaging, taking credit for other people's successes, and blaming everyone else when things went wrong. Especially me. I seemed to be his favorite target. For months, I put up with it. I'd come up with a solution to a tricky problem, explain it in detail, and watch Steve nod. Then, in the next meeting with upper management, Steve would present my solution as his own brilliant idea. I'd bite my tongue. I needed the job. He'd hover over my desk. Dave, are you sure you formatted that spreadsheet correctly? Let me see. I think column G should be blue. It was never helpful. Just constant, pointless interruptions. He'd rewrite my emails to clients, adding jargon he didn't understand, making us look foolish. I'd spend hours fixing his mistakes quietly. The final straw came during the Project Nightingale launch. This was a big one. I'd basically built the deployment plan from scratch. Weeks of late nights, coordinating between teams, triple-checking everything. Steve mostly stayed out of it, probably because he didn't grasp the technical details, which was fine by me. Launch day arrived. Everything went smoothly. Perfect execution. The client was thrilled. Emails started coming in from senior managers congratulating the team. I felt good. Relieved. Then came the team meeting the next day. Steve stood at the front, beaming. I want to thank everyone for their hard work on Project Nightingale, he began. It was a challenging plan I put together, pushing the boundaries, really thinking outside the box.
Her face is illuminated by the home screen menu. She starts navigating with the little joystick. Click, click, boop. I just stared. My scallop sat lonely on my fork. I glanced around. Did anyone else see this? The couple at the next table seemed oblivious. The waiter was thankfully rearranging silverware across the room. I managed, my voice sounding weirdly loud. What are you doing? She looked up from the screen, casual as anything. Oh, just need to check my turnip prices. Turnip prices. She was playing Animal Crossing, the Gilded Spoon, on a first date, while waiting for her $40 entree. I must have had a look on my face, like utter confusion mixed with secondhand embarrassment. What? She asked, genuinely seeming not to understand the issue. The market closes soon. Gotta sell before they spoil. I didn't know what to say. Here? Now? Yeah? It'll just take a second. She went back to tapping buttons. Little animal characters appeared on the screen. She seemed completely absorbed. The waiter approached. I saw his eyes flick down to the glowing screen in her hands, then quickly back up to meet my eyes. He raised a single, perfect eyebrow. I gave a tiny, helpless shrug. He just nodded stiffly and filled our water glasses in silence before retreating. Even he knew this was weird. Sarah finished her turnip business after maybe 2 minutes. She clicked the switch off, slid it back into her expensive bag like it was the most normal thing in the world, and picked up her fork. Okay, done, she announced brightly. Sorry, what were you saying? But the vibe was just gone. Shattered. Like the fancy crystal glass I felt like dropping. How do you come back from that? The rest of the dinner was strained. I tried. I asked about her job again. She answered, but my mind kept replaying the switch moment. The click. The turnip prices. The waiter's eyebrow. Every time there was a pause, I half expected her to pull out a Rubik's Cube or start knitting. She didn't seem to notice anything was wrong. She chatted about her cat. She asked if I wanted dessert. I politely declined. I just wanted out. The check came. I paid. The walk outside was quiet, so she said, stopping by the curb, this was fun. Text me? I looked at her. She looked nice. Normal even. Without the switch, you wouldn't know. Yeah, I said. Sure. I'll text you. I didn't. I couldn't. Turnip prices, man, at a place like that. Did this really just happen? I'm still not sure. Needed to get this off my chest. Anyone else ever experienced something this random?